Hello, friend. Thank you for joining me. I believe that life is a journey of the soul. We are all growing and unfolding, and during the course of any life, we meet up with challenging circumstances where we feel like we've really been put to the test. And we have to draw on every resource we can and the power of God working through us. Perhaps you can recall events where you've been there, or maybe you're facing one now. But Easter is a story that teaches resurrection, and it is really a principle. Resurrection is a principle that one does not have to die in order to demonstrate. That resurrection is a universal spiritual principle that is to be applied throughout one's life, and especially when we meet up with the Good Fridays or the most challenging tests that are before us. And so when you look at all of the sequence of events that are part of the Easter story, there are so many teachings, not only what Jesus said, but many of his actions were teaching as well, everything that he did. And so I want to share with you just a few items very quickly that can be helpful in you to demonstrate and overcome anything you may face. Number one is that Jesus demonstrated humility. Very important. He came into Jerusalem on a donkey to demonstrate that there was a power greater than himself. He wasn't saying, "Look at me." He was actually saying, "I of mine own self can do nothing. The things that I do, you can do also, and even greater things than these if you believe." He always was pointing to the power that was moving through him. Uh, it is not I, but the Father within that doeth these works. And so humility is such an important ingredient. No person can really proclaim, "Look at this great thing that I did," alone. Uh-uh. There's any great thing, any great work is the activity of God moving through you, overcoming. And so humility is a part of recognizing within yourself a dependency on a power greater than yourselves. And that's a healthy kind of dependency. It builds up an intimacy with that divine presence and power that lives, moves, and has its being within you. It's a deep, deep connection. Very, very important. Then we look at the fact that in the story, Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem Monday after Palm Sunday, and he sees off to the side a fig tree. And so he goes to it, and he finds that it is barren, that it has nothing on it but leaves. And because it does not have any fruit, he withers the tree. And a lot of people are, uncertain about what that is really teaching. Well, here's a possibility. Basically, there are things in our lives that are barren, that are not bearing fruit. They are not feeding us. They are not giving us life. And so it might be a person's work or their job or their certain relationships that maybe just pull or don't really feed us and give us life. Any endeavor that is just not really delivering life to us, we need to reflect on and actually pull our energy, pull our focus, pull our attention, and put it elsewhere and allow that, whatever it might be, to perhaps wither away a bit and move on to something more constructive. So that's another principle, is to have that awareness. And then Jesus went on to the temple and cleansed the temple, and he cast out those that bought and sold in the temple, and he overturned the tables of the money changers. Again, and one of the things that he said is, this is to be a house of prayer, and you have made of it a den of thieves. All of that really encapsulates the idea that you are the temple of the living God, and that you must cleanse that temple, and you must at times overturn those things that you are buying into and selling yourself on, that are thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that are not true to the temple of the living God. They're not true and aligned with truth that empowers you and sets you free. And so there is a sense of recognizing that there are those things that need to be overturned. There are those things that have been like a thief to you, and they're robbing you of the love, the joy, the peace, the power of a great life. And so in the journey of life, in the journey as a soul, all of us at moments have to look at what needs to be overturned within the framework of our consciousness if we are to have a resurrection, if we are to have an overcoming, if we are to demonstrate and conquer some test or difficulty that is before us. And so certain things we'll need to allow to wither. We have to bring forth a sense of humility and dependency on God. And there are certain things that we have to cleanse within the temple and restore to a house of prayer, which is really a recognition of the presence and power of truth at work in your life and the focus that one needs to have on it. And so all of that contributes to having a Easter experience, an Easter uprising, an uprising of divine energy that allows you to conquer and overcome and have a Sunday Easter experience. Because we are an Easter people, and you are, and you have that power within you to overcome. So never forget that. This is what the Easter story is about, or certain aspects of it. I hope that that contributes, because Jesus was always teaching. Everything that he did and said had application to us and the inner workings of us as a spiritual being and our journey as a soul. Blessings, happy Easter to you all.